Hi there, it's Robin. It's December 17th, 2010, and well, I don't have a whole lot of news. I did have a class on Wednesday, my gastric class that I have to take, the required one, and it was interesting. It was the social worker was there, the nutritionist was there. They have the little PowerPoint presentation things, and they go through. Well, the nutritionist went through this handy dandy little booklet thing. I don't know if you can see. Of course, it's going to be backwards or whatever, but you get guidelines for apparently whatever program you're in. You're going to get what they want you to have. But anyway, um, and they went through that. It was pretty thorough. There was a lot of questions, a lot of stuff that I didn't know, as many videos as I've been through, and as much research as I have done on this, frontwards and backwards and upside down and whatever. There were still a lot of things that I didn't know. And it's, you think you've got, I can see where people have backed out of this surgery after going to these classes, and they said that their drop rate, they have a bit of a drop rate after this class, because it's unlike the information class that you might go to beforehand, before you ever do anything. That's there to weed out people that, they give you basic information, and people decide, well, I don't want to bother, I can't deal with it, or whatever. When they find out how long they're going to be out of work, or they can't lift, or what they can and can't eat, basically what it entails, and they realize that it is not the easy way out. Then they kind of scurry away. No, this isn't for me, and I'm just going to go do Slim Fast or whatever it is they're going to do. But this class is far more in depth, and it really gets down to they tell you exactly what you have to do. And I can see where people back out, because it really, it slaps you in the face. This is real. This is not easy by any stretch of the imagination at all. I the tiny amounts, my mother even said at one point, we were discussing this years and years ago, and she says, well, yeah, it's the easy way out. You just get your stomach stapled, and that's all there is to it. And then you just can't eat as much. And that's, then, it's easy. You're not even trying. It's done for you. Yeah, well, let me tell you, we all know by now, everybody, a lot of people know that it's just not, that's not the case. And I know when I'm on the loser's bench, I'm going to be like, yeah, buddy, it's not the case. But oh, I don't know, just what you can eat, what you can't eat for, in progression. You go through the different, you're on, clear liquids, and you're on full fluids, and you're prey, and then, whatever, and you have to go through the whole, just like a baby, you have to start eating, in stages. And the tiny little bits. And I think the hardest thing for me is, I've got this thing about, I gulp my drinks now. When I take a drink, if I don't down, like here I have a glass of tea. Okay, my glass of tea. See my little, how do I do this there? Oh, there we go. This is a glass of tea. Sweet ice, Nestea mix, like huge amounts of sugar, glucose in this. I read the label and went, oh my god. Anyway, but this is what I drink. This and water. I've gotten myself completely off of carbonation. I've done that over the last several months, and that's way cool. Pre-op, if I can do that, yay. So I'm not, it's like a crash course on getting off carbonation, because that was like a serious addiction of mine. But no more carbonation. That's good. But anyways, I drink this, and I literally will drink half of this just as one drink, because I gulp it, and it's, I don't know, it sounds really tacky, and I don't know if anybody else feels this or anything, but I've really been noticing the way I eat. I've been paying attention to it just in the 2 days since I went to this class. I it's not so much how it feels in my stomach. And this is so odd. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say this or talk about this like that. But it's the way it feels in the back of my throat. And when I was smoking, it wasn't how it felt in my lungs. It was the burn in the back of my throat. That's what I had to have. And it's like my drinks, they have to be cold. And it's like, I have to feel like the back of my throat until it can't take it anymore. And then I stop my drink, my gulp, my whatever. And food, talk about spaghetti. I love spaghetti. Pasta's like a huge thing. I don't know what I'm going to do about that because like you can't have any. Or, you know what I mean? It's carbohydrate, it's bad for you, and yada yada. Okay, well, that's going to be the next step. But I got this thing for spaghetti, and this is just fat people talking, I guess. But you know, you wind the spaghetti up on the fork and you stick it in your mouth, and it's the feel of it in the back of my throat going down my throat. You know, it's not a little bite, it's the big bulk, you know. It's not the same with other pasta, it's spaghetti that's my thing. I don't know. I know it sounds really bad, and I know there's a whole big bunch of people that could be watching this video right now talking about how bad the back of my throat analogies sound. Well, you know what? Shut up and go away, because we're talking about food here, we're talking about an addiction, we're talking about, you know, real life things, and if you can't stay with it, then I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, it's weird. I've never, I don't know, maybe people just don't get that personal and really talk about how their bodies and what they think about, and maybe they're just not in tune, or they just don't think it, and it's too personal and it's too embarrassing to talk about that type of thing, you know, and what they need and what they're craving and how their body reacts to stuff. What am I going to do about having these little tiny, I read somewhere and they said cut your stuff up into the size of a pea, you know, and then you're going to put like 2 to 3 pea-sized things on this fork, and you're going to chew that 20 to 30 times. Pardon? You know, I tried taking yesterday. Okay, this was really, really bad. Went to Taco Bell because it's one of my favorite places. And I know I'm supposed to be trying to cut down, but, you know, whatever. I'm not anywhere close to my surgery date, and I keep justifying that way. But anyway, I'll get there. But I was eating a fries supreme. I don't know if y'all have that in the States, but up here in Canada, we got this thing called fries supreme. When I was in the States, I didn't see it. But anyway, I took half of a French fry with the meat and the sour cream and the cheese and all the really bad stuff for you on it. It was just a half of a French fry, about this big. And I put that in my mouth, and I could not get 20 chews out of it because it was sliding. It was completely liquefied in my mouth, and like, I think it was 13 chews. I don't know. I think that's what they're wanting you to do, is get it to that state so that it can just slide down, so it's not irritating and whatever. Because I don't know. There's all these little things like that that you have to deal with, you know, and it's like, oh my gosh, you never think that there's things like that that you have to retrain yourself, and it's, oh my, it's mind-boggling. It's really, really mind-boggling. Running out of time a bit. I'll get off the mind-boggling weird stuff in my guidelines after bariatric surgery nutrition guide. Let's see. Class on Wednesday. I was supposed to go see the internist on the 7th, but we had a ginormous blizzard, and we live 2 hours from the hospital, or the clinic, the hospital, whatever, and it wasn't happening. So they rescheduled. I was lucky enough to get a reschedule that wasn't 3 months down the road, because that's the way they do things here in Canada sometimes. So I have 2 appointments on the 5th. my social worker and my nutritionist. Get those out of the way one day. Cool. Well, she managed to make that internist appointment on the same day. So I have 3 appointments, one shot down to Toronto. Cool. And get the last 3 appointments out of the way. And hopefully it'll be all fabulous and I won't have to have any scopes or anything else, any other procedures done or anything beforehand. And then they can get together and do their thing and decide when I can, if I can have surgery date or not. I just wanted to mention briefly, I am at my bariatric program I'm at is at Humber River Bariatric Clinic, and I know that there's a couple of people that have been there. One's had a really bad, I forget her name, she had a really bad experience, and another one had a pretty decent experience. So I don't know, it's a new program, new hospital. They're trying to get their shit together, I guess. I don't know. My doctor's name is Dr. Wynn. I can't spell it because it's not spelt Wynn, it's spelt H something. Anyways, Dr. Wynn, the internist is Dr. Glazer. And that's about it for me for now. I might come back on and just blow out another video about something or another that's got to do with this odyssey I'm on. Alright, well, thanks for listening. Subscribe if you like. If not, thanks for listening.